I know it's been a while, but we're back with a WoW token giveaway. You ready, Bob?
Hell yeah.
Let's do this. Hey, it's Soul. It's August 4th, 2017. This is Warcraft Weekly, and did you see that intro? Dang. And did you see this logo? That way. Double damn. I want to thank Kyle and Tyler for their respective contributions to the channel. Like I said, support the channel the best way you know how, and this is what these folks decided to do. I'll be showcasing these for a while, but of course, if you want to contribute whatever you want to the channel and help me out, hey, go for it. So how was your week, everyone? Mine was doing alright with some more progression going on in the Tumas Argaris raid. We overcame some trouble that we had on Tuesday with a low roster count. We made a comeback, and now we're at 8 of 9. Congratulations so far to the team. I'm looking forward to finally kill Jaden. Kill Jaden.
It's not funny.
It is. I wish I could say the same for my dog. He has this funny little lump on his head, and we think that it's, you know, we're thinking the worst, and we're hoping not. We're trying to do things for him, so it's kind of about, well, you know, I just wanted to share that. I'm not going to start like a GoFundMe or anything. As always, you know, just support me the best way you can. But regarding Toffee, just, you know, send some positive energy out. You know, all of us will appreciate it. I'd love to know how your week was, either in the world of Warcraft or in the real 3D scary world. Share your stories, your win, your losses, your drama, and all that. But we're going to do a special giveaway, and it doesn't have too much to do with that. Well, maybe kind of, sort of. Here's the contest. I want you to share your most epic, awesome, tragic story in the world of Warcraft that you have ever experienced. Now, of course, you can embellish a little bit. It's not like I'm going to know any better, but I want this to be like a cool story, a strong delivery, and because these are things that I'm going to read off in a separate video throughout the course of this contest. I'm going to make this contest run, it's going to be longer than a week, at least 2 weeks, and like I said, throughout that, I'm going to take some of my favorite stories, and I'm going to read them off in a separate video so that we can all pretty much, I mean, the whole point of this is to kind of just share and celebrate some of these awesome World of Warcraft stories that we have. I know I have tons of small stories to share with me and my guild and all of our antics and shenanigans and the passive aggressiveness, but I live in a bubble, this POW bubble. I'd love to hear more. So share your best story ever, and you're going to get a chance to win a WoW token. I do apologize, this is only going to be available for people on US realms, but if you want to participate and share your story anyway, just let me know, and maybe I'll feature that too. Good luck to everyone. I hope I get some really cool entries and nothing that has to do with splitting your finger open, sir. This week's featured YouTuber is Skoll Shorties, or Shorties. And this is a different channel that I'm going to be promoting. Now, Skoll, as I'll call him, is a very young YouTuber, or at least a very small one. He only has a handful of subscribers. But many of us fledgling YouTubers were in that spot, and you know what? Some of us might still be. Skoll Shorties is a glimpse to basically the beginning of a World of Warcraft channel and just kind of how things get started. And I'm talking about the really early days when you're really trying to find yourself and try to find the identity that you want to project to others. I myself am just a long-time player with a lot of ideas and the thoughts that, hey, you know what, maybe I can share these with people and maybe get some cool ideas rolling. I don't know if Skoll Shorties is a great channel because I haven't seen enough of it. I'm not going to say that what he does have is the most amazing content that you've ever seen and have to look at.
But I will say happy birthday to Juan Matias O'Hara. Happy birthday, man, and may your loot be breezy.
But I am going to bump this channel just as kind of a reminder that, you know what, the World of Warcraft is a huge, huge community, and it's still growing. Out here beyond the big channels and streamers like Asmongold and Swifty and Taliesin and everyone else, there are channels out there that are smaller, way smaller than mine, that are looking to make, not exactly try to become world famous, but just to try to find themselves. So I encourage you to check out Skoll Shorties, not just if you're interested or not, and not just because I told you, but just to remind yourself just how big this community is. Help this community continue to thrive with new blood, because it's things like that and not necessarily the biggest YouTuber and streamer in the world that's influencing our community. And now on to the news. There's a bundle where you can get a mount and a pet for the low price of 30 bones. If you're into color changing cats, sweet, you're gonna love it. If you're allergic to cats like me, well then, who gives a shit? I posted a number of videos, including one about this, about kind of the ethics on whether or not selling mounts through this in-game cash shop is a good idea on top of a subscription. To reiterate my thoughts, it's not a problem at all. This is one mount out of dozens that have been released just in the Legion expansion. Between the class mounts and the rep mounts and the 7-3 mounts and that funny golem, which by the way costs 500,000 gold. And that funny little thing with the 4 legs and the bunch of faces that thinks it's pretty.
I feel pity. Oh, so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay.
There's a lot, it's overwhelming. But other people had something to say, including Jordan93. Says he hell don't give a shit. Storebounds happen every so often, a couple times a year at most, nothing new, let's all move along. But Sean says I don't think that Storebounds create a good example for the game, given their past was quite disappointed to see one creeping back in after so long. And Salim chimes in saying it's your choice. I'd love a transmog shop, it's a company, not a charity, to buy or not buy, your choice. I talked about the possibility of getting rid of talents altogether, and on top of that I talked about, hey, maybe here's a new system that we can possibly replace it with. Casey Buchanan says no, just no, and there's a lot of people that shared his sentiment, which is totally understandable. But Robert Ayers is a little bit more supportive for change. He says, right on my man, Ask Mr. Robot and limited choice for challenge has taken away the ability to mold your spec into your playstyle. Hopefully hashtag Blizzard watches this and snowballs your idea. Keep 'em comin', brother. French Tech says that the unfortunate reality, Soul, is that performance drives everything, just like the economy does in real life. But Moofy says he likes the ideas, and it's probably what current talents should be doing anyways. I always do encourage that if you have a good idea, so you should submit them to Blizzard, or at least express the idea in such a way that it's constructive, and that it's something that you really think would help the game. If you noticed already, raid testing has begun for Antorus the Burning Throne, which is the final raid of the Legion expansion. So far. And with all that going comes the ever-present conversation of when is 7.3 coming. There is of course a lot of speculation, and the most prevalent one right now is the 77-day count, or the 11-week paradigm as I call it. Apparently 11 weeks is the time frame between one patch and another, and it's been pretty consistent throughout the Legion expansion. And I think that's good. The old thought of, hey, it's gonna come out when it's come out, or it's going to come out soon, or whatever, I don't know, I think that's an okay thing when it comes to like coming out with a new game, but when it comes to something like the World of Warcraft, which needs to be continually maintained and it's constantly being worked on, I think there is a bit more organization that needs to be put in order. And for all we know, this might be one of the directions that Ian Hazzikostas has put forward since he started working as game director. Again, I think it's good. It creates a sort of predictability in part of us. It's easy to communicate to us, hey, here's 7.3. There's a bunch of big shit coming, and then when 7.3.5 comes, it's a bunch of little shit coming that's supposed to be designed for our classes. And then there's the 8.0 stuff, which is going to be, you know, World of Warcraft Murlocalypse, or whatever the hell expansion it's going to be. Being able to organize development around a 11-week time frame, it allows for a lot of things, and I'm not going to get too far into it because that goes into like developer timelines and production management, and that's still well beyond my capacity as, well, a armchair developer. But basically throughout the development process, Blizzard is able to take certain modular things, like for example Worgen and Goblin models, and kind of put those on the shelf at a later time. Now they're still going to be worked on, they're probably still being worked on as we speak, but it's not going to come out until whenever it is going to come out. Now it can come out you know, in the next patch or the next patch after that, but we can count every 77 days. We can at least know that something is coming, and that something that's coming is probably going to be of substance. This is in contrast to like the Warlords of Draenor expansion, or, you know, a bunch of previous expansions where we see a patch and it's like a lot of nothing. These days, especially in the Legion expansion, or as we've seen it, we've seen lots of exciting things to kind of look forward to with each patch, and it's made for a very tiresome YouTube schedule. Believe me. But it's it's good. WoW is very much alive and actively being worked on. Whether you like this stuff or not, that's entirely up to you, whether or not you give a shit or not. But anyway, on to the 7.3 build and the 7.3 Q&A that had just happened yesterday. I thought it to be a brilliant idea for me to parody the entire Q&A myself, and it turns out I just kind of redid the Q&A in my own image. I have no idea how well that's going to turn out. I have not looked at the comments yet, and I'm scared. But it is at least shorter. I cut the Q&A time in half, and I was still able to pretty much answer all the questions that have been answered, all 26 of them. But if you don't want to bother yourself with looking at that either, and you haven't looked at MMO Champion or Wowhead yet, let me just give you the rundown of what's going to happen in the first 2 weeks or so of 7.3. So here's what's going to happen in general. If you have alts that you haven't really worked on, like you got them to 110, but you're just like, oh, fuck it, I don't want to do all this. I don't want to do all this grinding and meh, 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 meh. Good news, everyone. The third relic slot is going to be immediately unlocked for you. Your artifact power will be unlocked in the sense that you can immediately start shooting for Concordance. You no longer have to do the whole Broken Shore quest line and all that extra stuff in order to unlock it. Everyone's artifact knowledge, at least as long as they're max level, is going to be bumped up to 41. Artifact knowledge is going to be global, which means that on every reset, everyone's knowledge level is going to go up by 1. As for Argus and the campaign, just like I said, there is going to be gating, but it's not nearly as bad as anyone might have thought. Everything that there is to do in Argus, including all the features, the maps, the dungeons, and all that stuff, all that's going to be available within 14 days. The Argus campaign is going to be separated into relatively clean chapters, which are also separated by the 3 subzones. Week 1 will let you explore the first zone and do the first 2 chapters of the Argus questline. By the end, you'll have unlocked world quests and other snazzy things. Week 2, you get access to chapters 3 and 4. Along with that are the invasion points, or the rifts as they used to be called, and some more world quests. Week 3 is where you get access to the dungeon, the seat of the Triumvirate, as well as the Netherlight Crucible, which we finally know what it's all about. So it's not bad. Within 2 or so weeks, we get everything. More importantly though, we know this now. One of the big failings, and I'll just straight up say failings, of 7.2 is that it wasn't communicated very well, so us YouTubers and pundits and other speaky people in the media have been, we're talking up all the 7.2 content and all these things to do, and then we kind of got like a drip of whatever we were doing. At least this time we have proper communication as to what's going on, and assuming that they deliver, 2 weeks isn't all that bad. It's not like the raid's gonna come out and it gives us time to digest the content that's coming out of Argus before we get tired of it. Now, regarding the Netherlight Crucible, just a very quick explanation. It's a way to customize our relics and to change the traits inside these relics into things that we might actually want. The traits that we can change these to, unfortunately, are going to be random. However, there are ways to earn tons and tons of relics in Argus. There's going to be vendors available that require a new currency that is contained within Argus, but it'll basically let us buy a whole bunch of relics if we wanted to. Okay, I take that back. Maybe not like a whole bunch. I'm sure there's going to be a controlled supply, but it gives us a lot more agency to earn relics as opposed to how it was before, where we might have been farming like the same dungeon over and over again for the hopes of a Titanforged relic that had the traits that we wanted. It won't be like buying a relinquished relic. If you never happen to get any holy relics, cool, you'll be able to go straight to this vendor and buy just holy relics and hope for the best. Is it perfect? No, but what is, really? All these components that are being unlocked, such as traveling to the other zones and the dungeon and the Netherlight Crucible and most of the world quests, all those unlocks are going to be account-wide. So the easy solution is, if you're a lazy shit like me, is if you care about your main, you're going to do everything on your main, and you're not really going to give a fuck about working on stuff on your alt, at least not until everything's unlocked. From there, after the 2 weeks have passed, cool, I'll get on my alt and I'll be at artifact knowledge level 42 and I'll be able to just go to town. Or was it 43? So this form of pacing, in my opinion, okay, this works out. Our current artifact knowledge level of 40 kind of limits us as to just how far we can be on our artifact ranks. As I've stated before, the Netherlight Crucible is going to make artifact power and artifact knowledge matter once again. Reason being is that in order to customize the relics the way that you want, your weapon needs to be of a certain rank. If you want to be able to customize all the relics on each weapon, you must have a weapon rank level of 75.
Oh my god.
75 feels like a long way for a punk-ass bitch like me, but for others it might not be. So like I said, the pacing that'll eventually get you the Netherlight Crucible by the time you hit knowledge level 43, that seems about fair. But anyway, you can share your thoughts about this or anything that you like in a comment below. So this is the weekly, and I want to thank all of you for coming. Thanks to all the new subscribers that have come in to help me get past that 7,000 mark. I really appreciate it. Now let's get to like 10. Should be easy, right? I also want to give a huge shout out to J. Thomas Walsh, who is my newest patron. Thank you a ton for your contribution, and I hope to not let you down. And of course, if you want to be a fellow patron as well, go ahead and check me out in the Patreon page somewhere down below. Check me out, and hey, if you want to support me that way, cool. If not, of course, support me the best way you know how. Like and sub, share a video or two, leave a comment, and share your story. As a reminder, share your epic story. You might just win a WoW token. Thanks to Kyle and Tyler for their awesome contribution to the channel. And thank you once again for letting me be a short part of your day. I'm out for the weekend, and now that all the 7.3 content is pretty much out and up and running and just about testable, you're going to start seeing some guides really soon. So I'm looking forward to slave away at those for you. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. You guys have a good one. Stay safe, stay happy, stay breezy. Yeah. This is my 3rd recording, by the way. It's fucking awesome.